Stop for a moment. Place your hand over your heart. Before another thought enters your mind, whisper to yourself, I am safe now, because you are. The world may still swirl around you, but this moment right now is sacred. This is where your healing begins. You did not find this by chance. Life guided you here because you are ready to stop surviving and start living again. Somewhere deep within you, there is a voice that has whispered, enough. Enough of the pain, the guilt, the self-blame. That voice is the beginning of healing. Healing does not happen through effort. It happens through surrender. You do not have to force your heart open. It opens the moment you stop fighting yourself. Life is always trying to return you to wholeness. All you must do is stop resisting the love that wants to reach you. You have carried so much, maybe pain in the body, tightness in the chest, or a heart heavy with memories that still ache. But dear one, you are not your pain. You are the awareness beneath it, the calm witness that has survived every storm. That part of you has never been broken. Every cell in your body listens to your thoughts. When you tell yourself, I am healing, your body softens. When you say, I am whole, your immune system brightens. When you say, I am loved, your heart responds. Your words are medicine, speak them gently. For years you may have believed that healing was outside of you, hidden in a pill, a doctor, or another person's approval. But healing is not something you chase. It is something you allow. Your body already knows how to repair. Your mind already knows how to release. You only need to give permission. Say softly now, I give myself permission to heal. Feel what happens as those words enter your body, that warmth spreading through your chest. That is your energy beginning to move again. You are reminding every cell that it is safe to let go. You do not need to understand how this works. Just trust that life knows what it is doing. Every beat of your heart proves that the universe is on your side. Every breath says, I am still here. You are supported in ways you cannot see. Even the pain that brought you here was part of your path home. Forgive your body for not healing faster. Forgive your mind for repeating old thoughts. Forgive yourself for not knowing better before now. Every time you forgive, another layer of resistance melts away. Forgiveness is the bridge between pain and peace. You have punished yourself long enough. You have replayed the same memories, the same regrets, as if suffering could undo the past. But suffering is not loyalty, it is stagnation. Let yourself be free. The lesson has already been learned. You don't have to relive it anymore. Healing is remembering your innocence. Beneath every fear, every mistake, there is a soul that has only ever wanted love. That is who you are. The part of you that still believes in kindness, still believes in hope, still reaches for light, even in darkness, that is your truth. Let that part lead now. Your body may have held pain for years, but every cell is renewing every few months. Almost all the atoms that make you are replaced. That means you are literally becoming new. Your task is to fill the new you with new thoughts. Think of yourself as a garden. Pull the weeds gently. Plant only what you wish to grow. Say this with me, I am willing to release all fear. I am willing to let love flow freely through my mind and body. Every time you repeat these words, you are rewriting your story. You are teaching your nervous system that peace is safe, that joy is safe, that love is safe. Do not be afraid of your emotions. Tears are not weakness, they are cleansing. When you cry, the body releases what the mind has held too tightly. Let them fall. Every tear waters the soil of your new beginning. You are not falling apart, you are opening. There will come a day, perhaps sooner than you think, when you will wake and realize that the pain has softened, that the thoughts that once ruled your mind now whisper instead of shout. That is how healing often comes, quietly, almost unnoticed, until you realize you are no longer suffering. The universe always responds to truth, and the deepest truth is that you are already whole. Healing is not about becoming something new. It is about remembering what you have always been. Love itself, infinite, complete. Life loves you, dear one. It has never stopped. Every time you doubted yourself, every time you felt unworthy, life waited patiently, whispering, "Come home." And now you are. You are coming home to peace, to trust, to your own divine wholeness. If you still doubt, that's okay. Doubt is only fear dressed as protection. Tell it gently, "Thank you for trying to keep me safe, but I choose peace now." Your mind will quiet, your body will sigh. Healing always begins with permission. Say this now, "I am ready to heal. I am ready to release. I am ready to remember who I truly am." Let those words sink deep. Your body is listening. Your spirit is responding. The process has already begun. You will leave this moment lighter than you arrived, not because the pain vanished instantly, but because you remembered that pain does not define you. You are the sky. Pain is just a passing cloud, and the sky never breaks, it only clears. One day soon you will look back on this chapter and realize it was sacred, that every wound carried wisdom, that every ending was really a beginning, that every tear was a baptism into a deeper self-love. And when that day comes, you will smile at your reflection, not because the mirror has changed, but because you have. The light you once searched for will be shining from your own eyes. That is the sign of a healed soul. So breathe, whisper this once more. I am healing now, I am whole. Life loves me. Let it echo through your chest until you feel the truth of it. This message found you because you were meant to remember. You will be healed because you already are. There is a quiet beginning to every healing, and it does not come from striving. It comes from permission. The moment you whisper, "I am allowed to heal," the universe sighs with relief. For so long, you may have believed that healing required punishment, proof, or perfection. Yet life does not ask you to earn its grace. It only asks you to allow it. Healing begins the instant you stop trying to deserve it. Most people do not realize how much of their pain comes not from the wound itself, but from resistance to it. We fight the ache, we curse the tiredness, we criticize the body for being slow to recover, but the body listens. It hears every word, every sigh, every accusation. When you say, "I am broken," it believes you. When you say, "I am healing," it believes that too. Every cell takes instruction from your thought. Choose your language with love. For many years, I believed that I had to fix myself. I treated my inner life like a project to be completed, a flaw to be corrected. The more I tried to fix, the worse I felt, for every effort carried the unspoken belief that I was not enough. It was only when I surrendered, when I said I give myself permission to be as I am, that the healing began to flow naturally. Effort had exhausted me. Acceptance restored me. Healing asks for gentleness, not control. You do not force a flower to bloom by pulling at its petals. You water it, you give it sunlight, you protect it from harsh winds. The same is true for the soul. If you want it to open, you must create the right conditions, kind thoughts, restful moments, tender patience. When you learn to speak softly to yourself, the body responds as a flower to light. Perhaps you have carried guilt for years, thinking that your illness or sorrow is punishment for past mistakes. Let me remind you, life does not punish, it teaches. Every experience brings wisdom. When guilt rules the heart, healing cannot flow. Guilt is the gatekeeper of pain, but the moment you forgive yourself, that gate opens and light pours through. You have suffered long enough. It is time to be kind to yourself. Pause for a moment now. Close your eyes. Place a hand over your heart and feel its steady rhythm. It has never given up on you, not once. Whisper softly, "I am safe now." Feel how those words relax the shoulders, how the breath deepens. Safety is not found outside of you, it is created within. When the body feels safe, the mind begins to rest. And in that rest, the natural intelligence of healing awakens. You do not need to understand how this works. You do not need to earn your recovery through effort or discipline. Healing is not a job, it is a response. When you release tension, life rushes in to fill the space you once guarded. You have been carrying the world upon your shoulders, thinking you must hold everything together. But dear one, life holds you. You may rest now. The body responds to kindness far more quickly than to criticism. I've seen people heal from chronic pain when they began speaking gently to themselves. A woman once came to me saying, my stomach has betrayed me for years. I said, no, dear, your stomach has been protecting you. It has tightened each time you swallowed anger you could not express. When she began to thank her stomach instead of condemning it, her digestion improved within weeks. Love softens where fear constricts. We've been taught to think that strength means pushing through pain, but true strength is the courage to pause. Rest is not laziness, it is respect. The body cannot renew while it is being chased. Allow yourself to stop. Sit in the stillness of now and feel the quiet hum of life within you. That hum is not weakness, it is wisdom. Every healing begins with a sentence. I give myself permission to heal. Say it aloud, slowly, like a prayer. Feel how the words expand within you. Permission releases the energy that judgment has trapped. It tells the body you are safe to restore. It tells the mind you are free to release. It tells the heart you are loved as you are. For years, I believed I had to heal others to prove my worth, until I learned that the only healing I could ever give was my own. When I healed myself, my presence healed others naturally. There is no greater gift you can offer the world than your own wholeness. Every time you forgive yourself, the earth becomes a gentler place. The mind loves to complicate what the heart already understands. Healing is simple. It is returning to love. Each time you choose love over fear, softness over hardness, acceptance over resistance, you create conditions where miracles feel natural. And miracles are nothing more than love made visible. If you feel weary from trying, stop trying. Sit quietly and imagine that life is a warm current carrying you downstream. You do not have to swim. You only need to relax. Every moment you release control, you move closer to alignment with healing. Resistance is the only obstacle, and even resistance softens under kindness. Speak to yourself as you would to a child. Say, I am here, I will not abandon you. This simple affirmation awakens inner safety. When the inner child feels safe, the adult begins to heal. You have ignored that small voice for too long. It has waited patiently for tenderness. Let your own words be the lullaby it has always needed to hear. You may think that healing must take years, but time is not the measure of healing. Willingness is. The moment you choose peace over punishment, you have already shifted. The body and mind respond immediately to a change in attitude. You will feel it as warmth, as tears, as stillness. That is the movement of life through you. Do not rush this process. Flowers do not open all at once. The petals unfurl in their own rhythm, each moment perfect. Trust your timing. The universe has never been late in anything it creates. You are unfolding exactly as you are meant to. As you rest in this awareness, say quietly, I am no longer fighting myself. I allow healing to happen. Feel how the breath deepens again, how the mind grows calm. This is surrender, not giving up, but giving over. You hand the burden to life and trust that it knows how to carry it better than you ever could. Gentleness is your new medicine. Speak kindly, move slowly. Forgive the moments you forget. Healing is not a straight path, it spirals. Some days will feel like progress, others like return. Yet each circle moves you closer to peace. You cannot fail at healing. You can only delay it with judgment. Close your eyes again and whisper, I am safe now. I give myself permission to heal. Let the sound of your own voice wrap around you like a blanket. Feel the warmth spread through the heart, through the belly, through the hands. The body hears this language and begins to respond. You are not alone in this. Life itself is your companion, your healer, your friend. Trust it. It has carried you through every night into every morning. It will carry you through this too. Take one final deep breath. Inhale peace, exhale tension. Rest in the truth that healing is already unfolding within you. You have given permission, and life has answered. You are safe, you are loved, and you are healing right now, in this very breath. When we begin to listen, we find that the body has been waiting to speak all along. It speaks not in words, but in sensations, in aches, in the rhythm of breath and pulse. Every flutter, every pain, every moment of fatigue is its way of whispering, please notice me. The body has never been our enemy. It has always been our most faithful messenger of truth. For years, I misunderstood my body. I thought it betrayed me when it became sick or weak. But in time, I saw that illness was not rebellion, it was communication. My body was pleading for love, for rest, for forgiveness. Every symptom was an unanswered letter sent from the cells to my heart. When I finally listened, the body sighed in relief, as if to say, thank you for hearing me at last. The body remembers everything. It remembers joy, and it remembers sorrow. It remembers the laughter of childhood and the tears we never cried. The shoulders remember burdens not yet released. The stomach remembers fears not yet digested. The throat remembers words we were too afraid to speak. But the body also remembers love, every touch, every kindness, every moment of safety. When I began teaching, I met many people who blamed their bodies for their pain. My back hates me, they said, or my heart is weak. I would smile and remind them that their bodies had carried them through every experience, loyal and tireless. Your body does not hate you, I would say. It is waiting for your love. And when they began to thank their bodies, healing followed. The body responds to thought as a flower responds to sunlight. When we think loving thoughts, the body opens, softens, relaxes. When we think fearful thoughts, it tightens and closes. Imagine the difference between saying, I am sick, and saying, I am healing. The first phrase contracts, the second expands. Healing always follows expansion. You do not need to force your body to heal, you only need to stop fighting it. Every command, every judgment, I should be thinner, I shouldn't feel this pain, I must look younger, tightens the very places that are trying to heal. When you shift from fixing to listening, the body begins to unwind naturally. Listening is love in motion. Sometimes people ask, how can I love my body when it hurts? And I tell them, the same way you would love a child who is crying, you would not scold that child for being in pain. You would hold them gently and whisper, it's all right, I'm here. Love does not demand perfection before it gives comfort. Love comforts first, and healing follows. When I was ill, I would sit in silence and place my hands over the area of pain. I would close my eyes and say, I love you, I know you are trying to help me, tell me what you need. Sometimes I felt warmth, sometimes I felt tears, and sometimes only peace. I learned that my body was not a problem to solve, but a relationship to tend. Every illness softened under that tenderness. If you have been cruel to your body in thought, you can begin again right now. You can say, I forgive myself for every harsh word I have spoken about my body. I now choose to treat it with kindness. The body forgives instantly. It does not hold grudges. It begins rebuilding trust the moment you return to love. Your body loves you. It always has. It beats your heart, circulates your blood, and renews your cells whether you thank it or not. But when you do thank it, when you give it gratitude instead of complaint, it glows. Gratitude is the breath of life. It awakens every organ with joy. Let us practice together for a moment. Place one hand on your heart and one on your belly. Feel the rise and fall of your breath. Whisper softly, "Body, I am listening. I am grateful for you. You have carried me through so much, and I love you for it." Feel the warmth that spreads beneath your palms. That warmth is the language of healing. The body's wisdom is older than thought. It knows when to rest, when to release, when to renew. It is the mind that interferes. The mind says, "I must push harder," but the body whispers, "Please rest." The mind says, "I must hold it together," but the body says, "Please let go." Healing happens the moment you obey the body's wisdom instead of the mind's fear. Many of us learned to distrust the body early in life. We were told it was sinful, weak, or unworthy. We were taught to cover it, hide it, deny its desires. Yet the body is sacred. It is the temple through which life experiences itself. To love the body is to honor the divine. Every inch of you is holy ground. If you find yourself standing before a mirror, do not rush to judgment. Look into your own eyes and say, "You are beautiful because you are alive." Do not look for flaws to fix. Look for signs of life to celebrate. The curve of a smile, the movement of breath, the sparkle of light in your eyes, these are miracles happening quietly every moment. Your tears are not weakness. They are your body's way of exhaling what the mind has held too tightly. When tears come, do not resist them. Let them fall. Every tear carries old pain out of the body. Crying is not breaking down, it is breaking open. It is how the body cleanses itself from the inside out. I have often said the body hears everything the mind says. When you affirm, "I am healing," you give it new instructions. When you say, "I am safe now," you remind it to relax. When you say, "Life loves me," every cell rejoices. Words are powerful medicine. Use them wisely, and the body will follow. If pain arises, speak to it with curiosity instead of fear. Ask, "What are you trying to tell me?" You may not receive an answer in words, but you will feel it. Pain often says, "You have been carrying too much." It may say, "You have been holding your breath for years." It may simply say, "Please notice me." When you honor it, it begins to release its message and dissolve. The body thrives in peace. Stress closes its doors, but peace opens every window. That is why relaxation is not indulgence, it is medicine. A quiet walk, a warm bath, gentle breathing, all tell the body you are safe to heal. Safety is the soil from which wellness grows. Be patient with your body's timing. Healing unfolds in rhythm, not on demand. Trust that even when you cannot see progress, life is working beneath the surface. Cells renew in silence. Energy reorganizes in rest. The same intelligence that heals the earth after winter is healing you now. Every time you offer your body love, you strengthen its memory of wholeness. Eventually, this memory becomes the body's dominant song, and pain fades into silence. Wholeness is the natural state. It only needs remembrance. Now let us end this reflection with a simple blessing. Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Imagine a golden light descending from above, entering through the crown of your head. Feel it flowing through your face, your neck, your shoulders. Feel it travel through your arms, your chest, your back, down through the spine, the belly, the hips, into the legs, the feet, the toes, every part of you glowing with warmth. As this light moves through you, say softly, "Every part of my body is now filled with peace. Every cell remembers love. Every organ relaxes into harmony. I am grateful for this body. It is my home." Feel that gratitude radiate outward like sunlight. This is how we heal, not by force, not by command, but by cooperation with life's quiet wisdom. The body already knows how to heal. It only needs your trust. Take a final deep breath. Inhale love, exhale resistance. Whisper, thank you, body, for everything you have carried. I am listening now. Rest in the warmth of that thankfulness. The healing is already happening. Forgiveness is the final medicine the soul must learn to give itself. Nothing burdens the heart more than the weight of an old story left unhealed. We replay memories like faded films, believing that if we watch them enough, they might change. But the past cannot change. It can only be released. Freedom is not found in rewriting the story, but in closing the book with love. When I first learned the power of forgiveness, I resisted it. Like so many, I thought forgiving meant saying the hurt was acceptable. But forgiveness is not agreement, it is release. It says, I no longer allow this pain to define me. When we forgive, we reclaim our energy from the past. We stop feeding the fire of resentment and allow the ashes to become soil for growth. The body holds resentment as tension. The mind holds it as judgment. The soul feels it as heaviness. Each thought of anger is a knot of energy that binds us to yesterday. Imagine trying to walk forward while dragging 1,000 ropes tied to the past. That is what unhealed anger does. It keeps us facing backward. When we forgive, the ropes fall away, and suddenly life feels light again. I have known anger so deep it lived in my bones. For years, I carried the wounds of childhood, neglect, fear, and betrayal. They shaped my thoughts and hardened my heart. I blamed those who hurt me, believing that my pain was their fault to carry. But one day, I understood my pain belonged to me now. It was my responsibility to transform it. And transformation began the moment I whispered, I am willing to forgive. Forgiveness is not an emotion, it is a decision. The feeling follows the choice. At first, the words may feel empty, but speak them anyway. The heart listens even when the mind protests. Repetition softens resistance. Each time you say, I forgive you, another thread of bitterness unravels. Each time you say, I release you, another weight lifts from your shoulders. When you begin to forgive, the ego may whisper, but they don't deserve it. And you can answer gently, this forgiveness is not for them, it is for me. You forgive so you can be free. You forgive so your body can relax. You forgive so that life can move through you again. Holding anger poisons the vessel that contains it. Releasing anger purifies it. Imagine your heart as a room filled with furniture, old grievances, dusty regrets, unspoken words. Forgiveness is the act of opening the windows, letting sunlight pour in, and carrying each piece of heaviness out one by one. The air grows lighter, the space becomes livable again. This is what you do each time you choose peace over pain. Sometimes we must forgive those who never apologize. Sometimes we must forgive those who are no longer here. Forgiveness does not depend on another's awareness. It depends on our willingness. We can bless them silently and let them go. Life keeps its own balance of justice. Our task is not to punish, it is to restore peace within. Do not rush this work. Forgiveness unfolds like the seasons. Some wounds require time to loosen their grip. That is all right. Even the smallest willingness is enough. Each breath of compassion wears away resentment the way water smooths stone. What feels impossible today will one day be effortless. When we forgive, we stop asking the past to explain itself. We stop demanding that it make sense. The mind wants reasons, but the heart wants freedom. Freedom is not logical, it is loving. It says, I choose peace even when I do not understand. That is the highest act of courage. Think now of someone who still occupies space in your heart through pain. Close your eyes, see their face not as they are today, but as they were when they were small, innocent, frightened, trying to love in the only way they knew how. Most cruelty comes from confusion, not malice. When you can see the fear behind another's actions, forgiveness becomes natural. Say softly, I release you, I bless you, I set you free. Feel the words echo inside your body. You may feel resistance rise. Let it. Resistance is the pain leaving its home. Tears may come, let them fall. Every tear waters the seed of peace. Each breath carries another fragment of the past out of you. The hardest forgiveness is often the one we owe ourselves. We punish ourselves for choices made in ignorance, for words said in anger, for years we think we wasted. But how could you have known then what you know now? Every step brought you here. The path may have been rough, but it was sacred. Speak to yourself now as you would to a dear friend. I forgive you. You did your best. I once stood before my mirror, tears streaming, whispering, Louise, I forgive you. I forgave myself for the self-criticism, for the fear, for all the ways I had betrayed my own love. As I repeated the words, my reflection began to soften. My body grew lighter. The pain I had carried in my chest for years began to fade. Forgiveness had found its way home. Guilt is the twin of resentment. It imprisons us from within. Guilt says, I am not worthy of peace. Forgiveness replies, peace is my birthright. Each time you release guilt, you align with love's natural rhythm. The body responds immediately. Breath deepens, muscles relax, the heart opens. The language of forgiveness is written in physiology. You cannot hold anger and health at the same time. The two vibrations cannot occupy the same space. When you release anger, you make room for harmony. It is not uncommon for people to experience physical healing after emotional forgiveness. The energy that once fueled resentment becomes vitality. The moment you let go, the body says, at last I can rest. Picture the energy of forgiveness as golden light descending into your mind, flowing through your heart, and radiating into every cell. This light seeks no judgment, it simply illuminates. As it moves through you, it transforms pain into wisdom, sorrow into compassion. The same events that once hurt you become teachers guiding you toward understanding. Forgiveness does not erase memory. It changes the way memory feels. What once stung becomes gentle. What once brought tears brings gratitude. You see how even your suffering was part of a greater design leading you toward awakening. When you forgive, the story remains, but the suffering ends. You might ask, how will I know when I have forgiven? You will know when you can think of the person or event without tension in your body, when your breath remains calm, when your mind stays quiet. Forgiveness is the absence of contraction. It is the peace that enters when you stop rehearsing pain. Sometimes people fear that forgiving means they will forget the lesson. But forgiveness does not make us foolish. It makes us wise. It teaches discernment, not denial. You can forgive someone and still set healthy boundaries. You can release the past while choosing not to repeat it. Love and clarity can live together. The past cannot hurt you now unless you invite it in. The mind loves to revisit old rooms, but you are free to lock the door. Say to yourself, that lesson is complete. I now move forward in peace. The universe supports this decision. Each new sunrise confirms that life is always beginning again. Let us practice this together. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and imagine standing before a mirror that reflects not your outer form, but your spirit. See how tired it looks from carrying so many old stories. Reach out and touch that reflection gently. Say, you have done enough. You can rest now. Watch how the reflection brightens, how light returns to the eyes. That light is forgiveness realized. Repeat after me now. I am willing to forgive. I release the past. I free myself from all resentment. I bless every experience for what it taught me. I now choose peace. Let each sentence settle like petals on still water. This is the vibration of freedom. There is no need to force forgiveness. Even willingness is enough. The heart knows how to complete the process when it is ready. Simply keep choosing peace each day. Life will do the rest. In time, you will look back and see how the people who hurt you were the same ones who pushed you toward self-love. You will realize that the pain was a bridge, not a wall. You will thank it for bringing you home. Forgiveness, dear one, is the bridge between pain and peace. It is the quiet miracle that restores harmony where chaos once ruled. As you cross it, you will feel the past fading behind you, not as an absence, but as a blessing fulfilled. Take a final breath with me now. Place your hand over your heart and whisper, I am willing to forgive. I am free. Feel the stillness that follows. That stillness is your soul returning to itself. The past has served its purpose. You can release it now. Walk forward, light, unburdened, awake. The path ahead is clear. The mind is a marvelous servant, but a dreadful master. It repeats what it learns, not what is true. For years, mind whispered, you are not enough. I believed it because I heard it often. Yet a belief is only a thought you keep thinking. Change the thought, and the belief must change with it. This is why re-education through love is the final stage of healing. Thoughts are seeds. Each one planted in the garden of your mind will grow in its own likeness. Fear grows weeds, love grows flowers. If you do not choose your seeds, the old ones keep sprouting. Most of them were planted in childhood by voices of fear, parents, teachers, society, repeated until they sounded like your own. But you are the gardener now. You may plant new life. When I discovered that thought creates experience, I did not rejoice. I trembled. I thought of every fearful sentence I had ever spoken and wondered what harvest awaited me. But then I remembered life is forgiving. Every new loving thought erases 1,000 fearful ones. You need not perfect your mind. You need only redirect it gently and often toward kindness. The mind learns through repetition. You have spent years repeating criticism. I can't. I should have. I never will. Begin today to repeat love instead. Say, I can learn. I am doing my best. Life supports me. At first, the old voices will mock you. They will call you foolish. Smile at them and persist. Soon they will grow quiet, and the new voice, your true voice, will begin to sing. When I first stood before the mirror and said, Louise, I love you, I could scarcely meet my own eyes. They looked back, skeptical and wounded, but I continued day after day. The mind protested, but the heart listened. Slowly the reflection softened. My face seemed gentler, my breath steadier. Each repetition carved a new pathway of belief until love felt natural again. Affirmations are not magic, they are discipline and tenderness. Each one tells the subconscious, this is the new law of my life. The subconscious obeys whatever it hears most often. It cannot tell truth from habit. If you declare, I am safe, I am loved, I am capable, the subconscious begins arranging experience to match that pattern. Life mirrors the thought that dominates your inner dialogue. Do not try to silence the mind. Teach it new songs. When fear shouts, whisper peace. When doubt argues, smile and say, I choose faith. The mind is like a small child tugging at your sleeve. It seeks attention. Give it guidance, not punishment. Speak to it as you would to a dear companion who has simply forgotten the way home. Every morning, upon waking, before the world rushes in, plant the first seed. Whisper, this day is a gift. I will think thoughts that bless it. Those first few moments after waking are sacred. The mind is soft then, pliable like fresh clay. Shape it with gratitude, and it will hold the imprint all day long. As you move through your hours, notice how often the mind slips into complaint. Do not scold yourself. Awareness itself is healing. Each time you catch a complaint, pause and replace it with appreciation. If you think, I am so tired, amend it. I am grateful for a body that works hard for me. Such gentle corrections, repeated hundreds of times, re-educate the mind more powerfully than one grand revelation. In my classes, I often ask students to keep a small notebook titled, My Beautiful Thoughts. Throughout the day, they record every loving sentence that crosses their mind. By evening, they are astonished at how different the world looks through those words. The practice trains the mind to notice good more readily than lack. What you notice increases. Gratitude is the quickest way to shift consciousness. The moment you say, thank you, fear loses its grip. Gratitude invites abundance because it signals trust. You are telling life, I see your goodness, I expect more. And life, delighted by your faith, multiplies the good. Begin small. Thank the breath, the light, the chair beneath you. The smallest thank yous build the largest peace. When you catch yourself thinking harshly, imagine your thought as a pebble dropped into still water. Watch the ripples spread across the pond of your being. Then drop a loving thought beside it and watch the ripples of calm chase the others away. The surface smooths, the reflection returns. The mind, like water, always seeks stillness when left undisturbed. Some people say, but I have thought negatively for decades. It is too late. No, dear one, it is never too late. Every sunrise proves renewal. Begin where you are. The universe does not keep score of how long you have suffered. It responds to the moment you choose love. Even a single new thought, I am willing to change, has power to transform everything that follows. The mind loves familiarity, even when it hurts. That is why change feels uncomfortable. But discomfort is simply the body adjusting to a lighter vibration. When you shift from fear to love, from criticism to approval, the mind resists for a while. Be patient. Speak to it softly. We are safe now. We can think new thoughts. Soon it will relax into the new rhythm. Self-approval is the cornerstone of mental health. Without it, every success feels hollow, every compliment suspect. Begin approving of yourself for the smallest things, waking up, making the bed, breathing. Each act of approval builds trust within. The mind that feels appreciated becomes cooperative, creative, and kind. Do not confuse discipline with harshness. True discipline is devotion. It means returning to love again and again, even when you forget. Some days the mind will wander into old fields of worry. Gently guide it back. The shepherd does not beat the sheep for straying. He leads it home with calm assurance. So must you lead your thoughts. There will be moments when fear visits. Do not slam the door. Welcome it as an old traveler with a story to tell. Ask it, what lesson have you brought me? Usually it replies, remember your faith. Then you may thank it and let it rest. Every emotion, even fear, becomes an ally when met with understanding. If you wish to train the mind quickly, tie each new thought to a simple gesture. Every time you wash your hands, say, I cleanse myself of fear. Every time you light a lamp, think, I invite clarity. Ritual turns repetition into rhythm, and rhythm teaches the mind through the language it loves best, habit. To re-educate the mind is to become conscious of creation. No longer are you at the mercy of circumstance. You are a participant in life's design. Each time you choose a loving thought, you contribute to the harmony of the whole. Your peace blesses every person you meet, for minds are connected more deeply than we can see. At night, before sleep, release the day with gentleness. Say, whatever I thought in fear, I now think in love. Whatever I judged, I now bless. Whatever I worried, I now trust. The mind will carry these words into dreams, and healing will continue while you rest. Morning will greet you lighter. Let us pause together now. Close your eyes, breathe slowly, and whisper, "Every thought I think creates my future. I now choose thoughts that heal, words that bless, and ideas that uplift." My mind is my ally, not my enemy. It learns quickly in the school of love. Feel those words settle deep within. The mind hears them and begins rearranging itself to obey. In time, the practice of loving thought becomes effortless. You wake grateful without trying. You notice beauty before complaint. Even the voice of doubt, once loud and sharp, begins to sound like a distant bell fading in the wind. This is mastery, not dominance over the mind, but harmony with it. Remember always, what you give to the mind, it gives back multiplied. Feed it peace, and peace will surround you. Feed it self-approval, and success will meet you naturally. Feed it forgiveness, and relationships will heal without effort. The mind is the garden of miracles. Tend it daily. As this part draws to its close, breathe gently and affirm, "I am safe in the universe." Life supports every loving thought, I think. My mind is clear, calm, and creative. I approve of myself completely. Feel the quiet confidence that follows. That is the sound of a re-educated mind, steady, kind, and free. There comes a time, after all the tears and forgiveness and practice, when something deep within you exhales. It is not a dramatic moment. It is a soft recognition, I am whole already. The search ends, not because everything has been fixed, but because you finally understand there was never anything wrong with you to begin with. Healing was not about becoming new. It was about remembering what has always been pure. Wholeness is not the absence of pain. It is the inclusion of it. It is the awareness that every experience, pleasant or difficult, has played its sacred part in shaping your compassion. The mistakes, the heartbreaks, the fears, all have been teachers guiding you toward wisdom. Nothing has been wasted. Even the nights of despair have sprinkled light into your understanding. When we speak of returning to wholeness, we are not describing a journey across distance. We are describing a homecoming into the self. It is like walking in circles through fog, only to realize you have been standing in your own garden all along. Wholeness is the feeling of turning around within your own being and finding it luminous. The mind used to cry, "I must become better." The heart now whispers, "I am enough." That whisper is the sound of the soul taking its rightful place again. You begin to realize that self-improvement is not the goal, self-acceptance is. The more you accept, the less you resist. The less you resist, the more life can move freely through you. And life moving freely through you is what healing truly is. For years, I sought peace as if it were something outside of me, a reward to be earned after doing everything right. But peace cannot be chased. It is revealed when struggle ceases. The moment I stopped condemning myself, I discovered that peace had been sitting beside me all along, patient as sunlight waiting behind the clouds. Many believe that wholeness means perfection, but perfection is the enemy of peace. Perfection divides, wholeness unites. It says, all of me belongs. Even the frightened parts, the doubtful thoughts, the weary feelings, each one has a seat at the table of your being. When love hosts the banquet, no part of you is left unfed. Look at your body now. It has changed, softened, aged perhaps, yet every line tells a story of endurance. Every mark is proof that life has lived through you. Why scold what has carried you so faithfully? Why hide the map of your own evolution? The body is not your proof of imperfection. It is your evidence of survival. Bless it for how far it has brought you. When the mind quiets, something wondrous begins to happen. The world around you softens as well. People seem gentler. Colors look brighter. You realize that the outer world was always reflecting your inner one. The peace you cultivate within radiates outward and rearranges the world around you into harmony. You heal yourself, and life heals beside you. As you continue to grow in love, you may notice how naturally compassion arises. The impatience that once snapped turns into understanding. The need to prove yourself fades into calm confidence. This is the grace of wholeness. It changes nothing on the outside but transforms everything inside. You become a still center in a spinning world. Wholeness also brings the wisdom of surrender. You stop fighting what is. You no longer demand answers for every twist of fate. You begin to trust the rhythm of life as you trust your own breath. You know that even when you cannot see the purpose, there is one. The same intelligence that moves the stars moves you, and that intelligence has never made a mistake. Surrender does not mean giving up. It means giving over. It is placing your will into the hands of the divine and saying, "Guide me." When you surrender, your burden lifts. The body relaxes, the heart opens, and joy, quiet and steady, returns. This is not joy from excitement, it is joy from alignment. It is the serenity of knowing that life flows through you perfectly. There will still be storms, but wholeness teaches you to stand in the rain without fear. You do not run from the dark clouds, you bless them for watering your garden. You know the sun will return, it always has. This trust becomes your inner climate, constant and unshakable. Each morning you can remind yourself gently, "I am safe, I am loved, I am whole." You may not always feel it immediately, but your body and mind will remember. Repetition turns awareness into embodiment. Over time, the truth becomes so familiar that even doubt cannot dislodge it. Wholeness means living without the constant need to fix yourself. When you look into the mirror, you see not flaws to correct, but a friend to cherish. You smile and say, "You've done so well." That simple acknowledgement heals wounds that decades of striving could not touch. Self-approval is the final act of forgiveness. There is a moment in deep healing when laughter returns, not the laughter of escape, but the laughter of understanding. You realize how long you carried burdens that were never yours to carry. You laugh gently at your old fears, as one might smile at a child's nightmare after the morning light appears. Laughter, too, is holy. It is the sound of freedom. To live in wholeness is to become a vessel of love. Your presence becomes a quiet blessing to those around you. Without speaking a word, you radiate safety. Others relax near you because you have learned to relax within yourself. The peace you embody becomes permission for others to find their own. Let us pause now together. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and imagine your body filled with golden light. This light begins at the crown of your head and flows down like warm honey through the forehead, the eyes, the neck, the heart. It travels through the arms and into the hands, down the spine, the hips, the legs, the feet. You are luminous from within. This light is your wholeness remembering itself. Say softly within, "I am complete. I have always been complete. Every part of me is loved and accepted." Let these words ripple through your body until every cell hums with recognition. This is not imagination, it is remembrance. The cells know this truth. They have always known it. As you rest in this awareness, you might recall people you once resented, moments you once regretted. Notice how they now pass through your mind like clouds across the sky, visible but harmless. That is the sign of true peace. The heart no longer clings. It simply observes and blesses. Wholeness is also gratitude. When you see how everything in your life conspired to bring you here, gratitude becomes your natural breath. You thank the lessons, the pauses, even the detours. You see that nothing was wrong, it was simply unfinished, understanding, finding its completion. Gratitude transforms history into harmony. In this space of wholeness, you no longer chase love, you radiate it. You no longer seek validation, you embody it. You no longer plead for healing, you live as healed. Your presence says what words cannot. I am at peace with life, and life is at peace with me. Some ask, will I ever be hurt again? Of course, but hurt no longer defines you. It moves through you like wind, through open windows. You feel it, you learn from it, and you let it go. Pain once felt eternal because you resisted it. Now it passes quickly because you trust it. You have come to understand that healing is not a destination, it is a daily practice of love. Every moment is another chance to return to center. Each breath can be a prayer. Life loves me. When you live this way, even ordinary moments shimmer with meaning. Washing dishes becomes meditation. Walking becomes grace. Now imagine that light within you expanding beyond the body. It reaches your home, your loved ones, the street outside, the town, the world. This is how peace spreads, not through preaching, but through being. The vibration of one whole heart is more powerful than 1,000 fearful voices. You are that heart. If ever you forget this truth, return to stillness. Place your hand over your heart and whisper, I am safe, I am loved, I am whole. These words are your key. They open the same door every time, the door to your true self, untouched and eternal. Let us finish with a gentle affirmation together. Say quietly after me, I forgive, I love, I trust, I am whole, life loves me, and I love life. Feel the simplicity of those words. Feel how they rest upon the breath like feathers. This is all that needs to be remembered. Now sit in silence. Let the peace settle like dust after a long journey. Feel the rhythm of your heartbeat, steady, faithful, divine. You are home in yourself. The healing is complete, not because there is nothing left to grow into, but because you now know that growth itself is part of wholeness. When you open your eyes again, carry this peace with you. Walk gently, speak kindly, rest often. Let every act, no matter how small, be a reflection of the love that now lives fully within you. You have not become someone new. You have remembered who you have always been. Love embodied, peace realized, life itself.